desert wasteland was a turning point for Helena and her allies. It was here that her fellow explorer Rockwell began his spiral into darkness. If only Helena could have seen the threat that was so close to her, where Rockwell's experiments would lead. There's danger lurking beneath these sands, survivor. Seek out this Ark's guardian and find your way to where I'm waiting for you.
Okay guys, so this is where it all started on September the 1st, 2016. Scorched Earth. Epic. Right. So with the new content coming out, the Scorched Earth and Bob's Tall Tales. So Bob was pretty much like this character. So back in 2015, when ARK first came out, the generic character, this guy, well, apart from the hair, I think I've just lined his hair up, was called either Bob or Joe for the male, and I think the female variant, because I didn't really play the female, was Jane or Anne. So that was in 2015. They eventually changed it to human. So it was basically the generic when you first start in. This is the stature of the character. So after that, it was changed to human. So there we go. So it wasn't called Beach Bob. It wasn't named after a beach bob or anything. It was basically, that was it. And basically everybody just spawned in as the character, didn't bother changing the name. And that's why on servers there was so many Bobs about. Okay, hope that's cleared it up for you. Not some conspiracy theory that like the character never existed, because it did. If you played the game back when it first originally started, then you know where Bob came from. Right, anyway, so Scorched Earth, what has changed, or what is going to change? I thought I'd do a little flyover and meet some of the characters and look at some of the things. So this is the Morellatops. This is the Camel of the Desert. Basically, when you tame one of these guys, you can use it for water, because water is pretty scarce in this land. Right, let's just have a little overview of Scorched. Right, so I've just got one of these guys in and put a saddle on him. So it's just a Morellatops, and you can see water, because water is pretty scarce in this place. You can get water by two ways. You can harvest these cactus. If you just keep chopping it, your water fills up. I know I'm in creative mode, but trust me, that does work. Or you can drink from there, from his inventory. So there we go. I mean, I am full, obviously. But if you use this guy harvesting cactus, his water level fills up. So these are like unique creatures to Scorch. And yeah, so that is this guy. So he is tameable. Right, the next way to get water is from these guys. Now there is two variants. One is the water jug, the water bug. So basically these guys just float about and you can drink water from their butt. So drink water. Obviously I can't drink water because I'm full. You only get one shot at it, and then they go off disappearing. Same with the oil one. So there are two variants. This is the water one, and then there is a oil one. Right, so that's that guy. Okay, so here's the oil. It's basically the butt is red and the other guy is blue, and these just float about, and these are just, you can just take oil. There you go. Once you've took a resource, they scatter off. He's gone. He's out of there. So they are pretty dotted around the map anyway, around the grassy areas, mixed in with the other nasties as well. Okay, next guy is the Thorny Dragon. Let's just take that space off there. So it's like a big lizard with armor plating on. And it's got spines that you can kind of shoot at. So it does an attack as well. It sort of slows everybody down. The spines do. They are poisonous. Yeah. Another cool dino in Scorched. Right then, the next little guy is a Jimbob. So there are no dodos on this map, and I think like this guy kind of replaces him. So he is a shoulder mount as well. So he sits on your shoulder. Yes, I am wearing the desert cloth, which I shall come to shortly. But yeah, so he sits on your shoulder. He's not a battler. He doesn't do anything like battle-wise. He's not a fighter. But what he does do, he's basically the weatherman. They have the ability to sense when the weather changes because Scorched Earth has weather events. Some are good, some are bad, and some you just want to avoid altogether. Right. We'll cover them as well. But yeah, he is a little weatherman, and you sort of kind of have to get used to his tones because when a weather event is incoming, he'll do little cries or whines, and because he's quite vocal, so you have to kind of get accustomed to what tone is for what weather event. But yeah, these guys are pretty useful actually. Right, another mount, shoulder mount in the desert are these guys. Now, these are aggressive. You can tame them passively. You sort of have to approach them. They're all over the dunes. If you come out to the outskirts of the map, so the map out there, they're all over the place. They just minding their own business. But if you kill a dino out here and leave a corpse, they will swarm on it. A bit like the Arges, but they are very aggressive. But once you tame them, then they go on your shoulder. And then they live there, happily ever after. There is more to them than that, but I will leave that for you to discover. Next guy is this, the Mantis. Oh yeah, so they roam out in the desert as well. And yeah, so they do all sorts of things. So they do like a lunge attack, a swipe. And they are also great gatherers as well. So there are different things out in the desert. This is going to be one of them. We'll cover them as well. But while we are here, let's just have a look at one. So you'll notice he's got a hands and a costume. Oh dear me. Right, get rid of that. You can basically put tools in his hands. So there we go. You can arm him with tools and then he becomes like a gatherer. So like, so these bits, if we just gather these, there we go. So salt, a resource that's only in Scorch, well, that was introduced in Scorch, that you use for preserving because the hot desert things spoil a lot quicker. But there you go. So this guy is an absolute monster. Put tools in his hands and he will harvest all the things for you. There we go. Right, the next guy we're looking at is the Mantra. So it's a giant moth and you can put a saddle on it and ride it. It's not very good at attacking, but what it does do, it squirts like a hormone at its butt, and that basically slows down. Right, if we just put a cloud behind us, so anybody that's in the cloud just slows them down. So you need to get them in the cloud. It's good for getting away on things. So if you are out and about and you are getting chased, it's got quite a bit of a cooldown. This guy hasn't got much stamina. But yeah, it's got a bit of a cooldown, but it's quite effective if you want to get away in lickety-split. Right, the next one is the rock golem. It gets its name from, well, being a rock. So it looks like a standard kind of rock. You can't really tell. Well, you can tell, but you can't. But then this is tamed, obviously, when you go up to it. And, right, reveal. There we go. So these are rock elementals. Kind of a unique team. Again, I'll let you figure that out if you don't know already. But it's kind of good. He's got different attacks. He's got, he can pick rocks up. Throw them, bounce them. There we go. Right. So that is the rock golem. Right, the next creature is in the desert. And you can tell when you're near one because you get these mounds and you can tell it's coming towards you. And here it is. It's going to pop up. Reveal yourself. It is the death worm. So basically, these aren't tameable. But you can get resources like black pearls and stuff from them. And there is an alpha version of these as well. But yeah, they are very aggressive and quite hard to kill early game. So when you're out in the desert, if you see one of these, run, get away, get back to land. But it is pretty much out in the sand dunes where these guys reside. Right, the next guy is this guy. He is super rare, very elusive, and he only comes out in a certain weather event. But weather events, I will cover them in a little while. But then there is this guy. So this is a phoenix. He can do like a blaze attack, shoot fireballs, and yeah, he's quite a good team. They're not breedable. But you can tame them. Again, it's a unique way of taming them. And a kind of a unique way of finding them as well. Because they are super rare. And only happen in a weather event. Right. So that's this guy. Okay, the final addition to Scorched were these guys. So the Poison Wyvern, Fire Wyvern, and Lightning Wyvern. These are obtainable, not tameable. But they are also kind of breedable as well. Right, so each one has a special attack. Lightning beams. There we go. And you can use them to pick things up. Right, so there we go. That one's fire. We'll do the fire one. Pretty much the same sort of thing. Very effective. You can also do the pickup of creatures as well. Well, once you get there, once you get on target, that is. And they live. Alright, unfollow. Everybody unfollow me while I just go down. So this is the Wyvern Trench. This is where you come basically to collect eggs. That's the only way you can get them. And it's, well, it's normally a bit fuller than this. And there are alpha variants as well of the Wyvern, so you want to be careful. You want to come in, look for nest boxes. These kind of things here. They do have nests in, but obviously this nest hole is empty. Take the egg, get it out, and hatch it up. But also, when you are rearing it, there is a special way as well. You have to get wyvern milk. So you have to milk the wyverns in order to feed the baby. But that is the collection of dinos that was introduced into Scorched. And lots of new content. Oh, awesome. Right, we'll have a look at resources now. As we've seen earlier, these piles... These are salt, and if we strike stone, we also get sand. So that's the two resources that you need for kind of crafting bits. So that's those two. Right, so this is the other resource. This is sulfur. That's like in the mountain, along with the salt as well. You can also get sulfur from like wyverns when you kill them. But early game, obviously, you just want to harvest it this way. And also is, as we've also seen, cactus sap. So cactus is obviously coming from cactuses. They come in many shapes and sizes. These are the little ones. And we have also collected some plant species Y as well. Okay, so the other collectible resource is obviously water. So there are water veins around. You can drink from them, and also you can put a well. Craft a well and put it on there. There we go. So now that will fill up, and then you can use that for like your irrigation tanks and stuff. Okay. As well as water, obviously we don't have any seas where we used to get oil from. So to get around that problem, what they did is also made oil veins. In order to extract the oil, you have to construct a oil derrick. Basically, it's just one of them. Pop that on there, and that will start pumping oil for you. Basically, it just goes into the inventory. And then once it's done over time, that's where it will be. And the final resource exclusive to Scorched is, well, introduced into Scorched, should I say, is silk. So it's these purple flowers. Also, you can harvest it from Limantra. If you kill one of them, you can harvest that from there. That is also a craftable resource that you need to gather. Okay, welcome to my humble abode. So this is adobe. Basically, it's a new building material. It keeps you cool. It needs to, because this place is ridiculously hot. There are different variants. So we've got pillars, foundations, walls, basically all the building materials that you normally get: stone, wood, thatch, metal, tech even. So all those building materials, but now are adobe. So to make adobe, you have to craft clay, because that is part of it. In order to make clay, you need sand, which there is loads of it, and cactus sap. So they're the resources that you need to craft those. And then you can do the adobe build, which are a variant of them. So you can do all the sorts of things: double doors, slope roof, railings, ladders, and such like. So that is that. Also with Scorch came mirrors. I know, for some reason it doesn't show my reflection in this, but this is a thing as well. So they have mirrors. We've also covered the watering well and oil, and also this is a vessel. So you need to craft a vessel to store your salt. Scorched is notorious for basically things going bad quick, but if you take some salt, put that into your inventory, you increase the time. Not by much, but it's a thing. And also, the salt itself spoils. So, yeah. But if you put it in a vessel, obviously you can see it's a long time. That is crafted in here. So that is, to make salt, you need raw salt and sulfur, which can be found, obviously, in the mountains. So that is that. That is that resource kind of covered. Now on to the, I'd say, weapons and things. Right, we'll start with the whip, which is the most useful thing, kind of early. Right, so if we go out, you can use it for keeping animals at bay, but also you can use it for gathering as well. You can use it for gathering eggs out of nests, materials, keeping animals at bay. It's such a versatile tool, but it does have durability as well, so you do have to be careful with it. Right, so that is that. That is the whip. As you can see, I do have desert cloth on. Now then, desert cloth is craftable in a smithy, and you need various different pieces and bits for that. We shall go over and have a look. Hey, Jimbob. Right. So in the smithy, we will have armor, and it's under desert cloth. So the hat requires silica pearls, crystal, hide, but the other items you just need fiber, hide, and silk. Okie doke. Right, that will craft you a basic set of armor. You can get blueprints as well from drops to get higher quality things. Right, so that is the armor. It protects you from the heat, and also during storms there is like a sandstorm. You cannot see if you're not wearing like the goggles. So if you haven't got the headpiece on, you will not see. You will not find your way back at all. On to the weapons. So we have flame arrows. So they are a weapon in Scorched, and also oil. So you can cover things in oil, and then you can set them on fire. But it normally works like better on buildings and things. So there we go. And you can use compound bow as well. Oh, sorry. There we go. Compound bow. Boom. So something when it's on fire, if you put one of them on, it's alright, does it do it? Let's do it on a building. There you go. So you can set fire to buildings and things. Right, there we go. Boom. Right. Awesome. As well as the flame, we have rocket launchers, but homing rocket launchers. So that was a new thing added in. Boom. Right, the next weapon is the boomerang. So obviously it's what it is. You can melee with it, and you can throw it and it comes back. So it's not got any sort of kind of range, but it's good in a pinch, and it delivers torpor at a very slow rate, but nonetheless you can knock things out with it. Right, so there we go. So if you're stuck for a weapon to tame things up, you can basically use one of these, but just be mindful that it does take a time to come back. They can break. They are like spears as well. So they are like spears. They break randomly. There is no sort of kind of durability to them. They don't deliver much torpor, but you can use them to knock things out. But just be careful, because you have to. They do take a while to come back. Right, so the next weapon is the chainsaw. I say weapon, but it's more of a gathering tool than a weapon. You can use it as a weapon, but it's better suited to gathering. So if I go for hide on this, there are 2 morella tops. If I just go for this one, and 168. So depending on obviously what gather rates you've got. But now if I go for the chainsaw, as you can see, a vast improvement. Also, it does trees as well. So you get thatch, wood, an absolute crazy amount. It does have durability, and it does use fuel. It uses gasoline. You can't gather rocks, but the normal stuff like hide, thatch, wood, anything else, it does deal damage as well. I mean, this guy's knocked out. So let's have a look. What Don't think it does like... Right, health. So let's just give him a little... Oh, 15, yeah, there we go. So it doesn't deal that much damage. But in a pinch, you can swish it around and get rid of foes. It is more of a gathering tool. And a good one as well. Okay, weather. Now, so weather is not a new thing to ARK. We all know it's raining, it's cloudy and things like that. But now it's like an environment kind of thing as well. So if I push H, we are in the southern high desert. And you can see it says 20%. Now that is the wind value. That's how much wind is rustling about the place. And if you go to different places, 65... over here, the load 20%, and there. You'll see that becomes relevant in a bit. But there are different kinds of weather. Right then, so the next event, kind of the weather event, is a sandstorm. So as you can see, it's hard to see what's going off. I don't have my head on. I don't have my armor on. I have put this safari skin, which comes with Scorched as well. My stamina is dropping rapidly, and you cannot sprint. It's like you are encumbered. You cannot get anywhere at all. The only way to get out of it is getting out of it by getting shelter. Shelter, there is a tent. You can craft a tent, take it with you, open, close. Right, and that will protect you from the sandstorm. It's got durability, obviously, and it will slowly tick down, being out in the storm, the weather. But it will keep you in a pinch out from there. Right, let's just go out again. So once you get back out, back out into the world, let's put the helmet on. Boom. So there we go, and you get like a better view, so you can see where you're going. So I am near base. There's base, so you can see where you're going, but you still cannot go any faster than that. That is top speed. The next weather event is superheat, and you can see it's like everything is toasty, ridiculously toasty, and you will not survive out here. Water goes down, everything goes down, health is going down slowly, and everything else is going down. The only way to get out of it again is seek shelter. If you're out and about, you can use your tent. That will bring that down a little bit. It will stop you from getting super hot, and your health goes back up again. Or you need to seek shelter underground as well, and you can seek shelter in your adobe house. If you build a house of stone and stuff, it pretty much affects you when you get in there as well. So you need to get into your house, close all the doors, and then you should be okay. There we go. Fine. Okay, so the next weather event is the electrical storm. So it's kind of localized. You'll know if you're in an area, you'll see all the darkness above, and you will not be able to use your weapons. So, well, some weapons. So if you use a flamethrower, you just get that, chainsaw, that, rocket launcher, the homing rocket launcher. It will fire a rocket, but you won't be able to home on anything. It's basically just blind. You're firing blind. Rifles, you can actually fire, as well as arrows. Obviously, you can shoot arrows. So remember when I says that the effect, the weather and the wind. So if I push H, the wind is 40%. Right, let's go over here, over to where our base is. Oh, where is our base? Over this way. Here we go. Right. So here is our base during the electrical storm. So the storm is way over there. But during the electrical storm, you'll notice our generator is taking damage. So it's 671 out of 1,000 at the minute. And that will slowly tick down whenever there's a storm on. So you've got two options. You can either just keep repairing it every time there is a storm on. So it's gone down again. Depending on how close you are to the storm, it will tick down a little bit faster if you are closer. Or the other alternative is if you are in a area, 100%, you can build one of these bad boys. A windmill, a wind turbine. And it takes no damage from the electrical storm. So I am in an area, you can see it's powered. 100% powered. Central dunes. And it doesn't suffer from the electrical storm. So that is it. There are one or two areas around the map that are 100%. And they do change as well. So if I just literally just scoot over here. So literally from there to there is 20%. So if I move a little closer, 20%, 20%, 20%, it's really close. 100%. So yeah, so it's literally that line there, 20, 100. We've got another event. So you hear the Jimbob crying, and then that tells you there is another event going on. Obviously, I triggered the electrical storm, but they are kind of random. They don't normally stack that way. You don't get one after another, but you might do. But yeah, so there we go. So the electrical storm is one of them that you want to kind of avoid. And if you are building a base and using power, I would look to do an alternative. If you built a base and you're in an area that kind of doesn't get a lot of wind, I mean, these turbines will only operate obviously 20% of the time, 20% of the day, unless you are in an area that is 100%. So you will have to keep provisions to keep repairing your generator. So that's gone down to 675. So it was at 1,000, and then during the storm it's gone down, and it's going down quicker as well. Right, so there we go. So you need to repair that. So collecting plants, we collect the plant species Y. So we know the plant species Z or Z, for if you're from my country, basically defends you against intruders that can beset. Well, this plant basically is kind of different. So this is the plant species Y that you have to grow in a large crop plot. And so there are the fruits. Immobilizers, humans, and small creatures. So if we do that. Right. Let's get one of these. So it's basically like a mine. So let's put that into an area where he's going to walk. Come on then, buddy. Turn around. Show me your path. Right, let's stick that there. Okay. So it might need a minute to reset. So basically what it is like a mine, and it will trap critters or people if you walk on it. But obviously, like, this guy's not entertaining it. Come on, let's get you going coming across here. Let's just fill an area. I think it needs like a second or two to reset. So you could put them down just to basic defenses if you like. There we go. So that's doing that job. So that's what that does. And of course, ARK wouldn't be ARK without its caving system. The place where you need to go and get artifacts. And there are 3 brand new artifacts to gain. And caves to explore. So once you've battled the monsters and everything else, and you've got to your prize, you get a nice shiny skin as well. So there are different kinds of skins, and 3 artifacts. Artifacts of the Destroyer, artifacts of the Crag, and artifact of the Gatekeeper. Those are the 3 that are dotted around the map. Enjoy. So one last thing that is new to Scorched Earth is obviously the boss. So we have got the alpha, beta, and gamma variants of it. So alpha is the hardest one. So it is the Manticore. Defeat the Manticore and get your reward. So this is the Manticore arena. This is where you spawn in. So you come in here. And then this is the area that he is. He spends a lot of time in the air. And there is things that spawn out of the ground as well. Like, it's not a good place to be. So you have to be prepared. Anyway, we are in creative mode. So let's just get rid of this guy. And boom. There we go. There we go. We get a trophy, as always, when you defeat bosses. And you get element and skins to add on. So we've got the flag, the trophy, element, and then armor skins that we can add on. There are things that you can have when you collect the artifacts as well, skins. But there we go. See you in Scorched.